with the second person, you have to correct the depression problem, and if the depression is taken care, they will stop overeating and obesity will automatically be controlled. And this is where when we fine tune this, we have to be very careful, because it is not just that, oh, I'm going to dry up your kapha by, whatever I do. What is the amount of kapha? Why do they have the kapha? What is that kapha leading them to? What type of lifestyle modifications are needed? What type of attitude modifications are needed? Has to be addressed, otherwise you are doing what I call yogopathy. And yogopathy, like allopathy and all the pathis, is disease focused. Pathy means disease. Whereas yoga chikitsa, which is yoga as a therapy, looks at the whole person, tries to understand the root cause and deal with the root cause and not just the symptoms. So when we look at these doshas, what we find is that Ayurveda says that sama dosha is the state of health when there is a balanced equilibrium between these three. So if these three are in a balanced equilibrium, you are healthy. But then what happens is that you move away from that, and so different people end up with constitutions which could be a combination of, say, Vata and Pitta. So a Vata-Pitta means that the person has elements of the wind and the fire coexisting. Now when the wind and fire coexist, what is going to happen is that that person is going to have symptomologies and tendencies that are not just the wind or the fire, but a combination of both. And this becomes very difficult diagnostically. Or somebody has Kapha with Pitta or Kapha with Vata. So what happens is you have Kapha with the other two, or Pitta with the other two, or Vata with the other two. And so when you start to break this, and again it's, normally we talk about 7 constitutions. So they say there is a Vata-Pitta Kapha, that is all 3. Then you have each one of them. So 1 plus 3 makes it 4. And then the combinations of Vata with Pitta, Vata with Kapha, and Kapha with Pitta. But then this is expanded to 3 more, because Vata and Pitta is not the same as Pitta and Vata. So now my Nilachal is doing his PhD. We are doing this prakriti analysis for back pain and showing how yoga therapy, if you just give a protocol, the response to the protocol depends on what type of prakriti the person has. Though the diagnosis is the same, the medical diagnosis is low back pain, but what is happening is that the protocol is made for low back pain, but people who have a certain constitution respond favorably. People who have a certain constitution do not respond as favorably. And which element? Does pain get better relief in certain constitution? Does quality of life is better in certain constitution? You start to find that it's not one size fits all. But they have tried to make it that. And Nilachal initially got very mad at me, because he's like, sir, you are always teaching yoga therapy has to be personalized, individualized, and then you are having me do a protocol, that one protocol for everybody. And I'm like, yeah, because we are having to show that one protocol doesn't have the same impact on everybody. You have to show it first scientifically, so that then somebody else in the future will do their PhD on individualized protocols. Because modern medicine needs this first step, where you have to show that one size does not fit all. Nobody has done this. And in fact, he and Utpala is getting married today. She is in Sri Lanka, a music therapist, a very nice girl. Today's her marriage. They should have finished the church wedding by now and gone to reception, I think. Utpala was working with music therapy in patients of cancer. And so she would go to the ward, and while they had chemotherapy and all, she would be giving music therapy. Very beautiful work that girl did. So Nilachal, because of his prakriti analysis, we started doing prakriti analysis in all the cancer patients who were admitted. And there also you start to see the prognosis and the response to treatment is different based on that person's constitution. But what modern medicine doesn't look at it. So it looks at the grade of the cancer, the stage of the cancer, and says this is your treatment. But it doesn't take into consideration that each individual has a different type of constitution. And so this paper is being published anytime this month in one of the best journals, where we have looked at that. And in that we started to see whether it is Vata with Pitta or Pitta with Vata. Now you say both are the same. No. Which is predominant and which is secondary? So is it wind with water or is it water with wind? Is it wind with fire or is it fire with wind? There's a difference there. And when you start to look at it this way, you start to understand that the traditional healing system was never mass. It was never for the masses. It was never like give everybody the same thing. And now modern medicine finally is waking up, and today we are talking of personalized medicine. Finally. But their idea of personalized medicine is we'll do all genetic testing, and then we'll find out, which type of drug you respond to based on your genetics, and we'll give you that drug. So still they are only looking at it from a drug delivery system, not a health system. And healthcare has no health in it. Disease care at most, or rather disease care less, but anyway, disease care less is where we are.